Every winter there comes a time when a jerkbait just stops working, or at least working as well. It's not because the bass won't bite it, it's because physically your jerkbaits can't get down or can't reach where those bass are living in that cold water. When those water temps keep dropping during the winter time, the bass just keep getting a little bit deeper. And they go a little bit deeper than those suspended jerkbaits can continually reach and stay in those smaller strike zones. When that happens, don't keep forcing a jerkbait bite. Do this instead. The twitch bait. So what I'm talking about is the twitch bait, and that's what we're going to be talking about in today's video. Now, these are not suspenders, they are sinking baits. And these are three of my favorites. This is the Finisher by Berkeley. This is the Bay Rough Seek by Duo. And this is the Depth Strike by Bill Lewis. Now, each one of these has a little different action, but the great thing about them is because they have no lip, they're not going to dive, they're going to sink down to the level that the bass are or just above, and you're going to be able to move them erratically and get that same reaction bite that you get out of a jerkbait. So we're going to talk about each one of these, and I'm going to tell you a little bit about each one and kind of the action that they have. Let's start with the Berkeley Finisher. The Berkeley Finisher comes in 3 different sizes. This is the larger size. It is a 3/4 ounce. So you're going to be able to get this pretty deep. And, you know, it's probably only 3.5 inches long. I don't know exactly. But this is their larger size. And at a 3/4 ounce, even if they're feeding on smaller shad, this should work very nicely. Now, they've got 2 other sizes. They've got this size. This is a number 7 is what they call it. And this is a 1/2 ounce size. Again, they come in a lot of different colors. I'm showing you the pearl. And this is one of my favorites right here. This is a 1/3 size. But let me tell you about these. They do drop very fast. So don't think you're going to need one of the bigger sizes. I can fish this to 20 feet pretty easily just because it drops so fast. Now let's talk about the Depth Strike next. Next up is the Depth Strike by Bill Lewis. Now these baits do something drastically different, and we'll talk about that when we talk about action and when we talk about fishing them and how to fish them, how to retrieve them here in just a few minutes. But this bait also comes in 3 sizes. This is the 5/8 ounce version. This is the 1/2 ounce version. And this is the 3/8 ounce version. So you can mix and match any size that you think, or you can use one to get down deeper. And you can tell this one may be just a touch longer than the Finisher. But again, a good profile, a good shad size. And, you know, believe it or not, guys, I think a misconception a lot of people have is that every school in the ball of shad are the same exact size. But that's not really the case. There's some pretty big ones and there's some pretty small ones. So this will still work very, very nicely. And last but not least, now this only comes in 1 size. This is from Duo Realis. This is the Bay Rough Seek 85. So 85 is 85 millimeters. I believe it's millimeters. I never can remember that. So this is the only size, the only length. This is a 1/2 ounce that it comes in. You can see one of the things I'll do is I'll put some suspend dots. Now with these, I prefer the suspend strips because of the action. We'll talk about the action on each one of these here in just a minute. Geeks, as you can see, they're dropping the lake back here behind me. And what does that mean? Sometimes that means some floating debris. It is winter, it is cold. Make sure you're wearing your life jackets. But overall, make sure that you protect your investment. Look at this. I pay a lot of money for this and I work very hard for it, and I don't want anything to happen to it, but I also don't want anything to happen to Mike or any of his valuables. So make sure you get the best insurance, not the cheapest insurance, which I've had a lot of you geeks out there say you've got a heck of a lot better deal by going through BIA.us. Tell them BassGeek sent you. I tell you all the time, I've heard so many horror stories since I've started working with BIA. Make sure you're working with a company. Boater Insurance Agency, it's all they do. If you fish tournaments, if you're like me and you do YouTube, you have to have a special kind of insurance. If something happens, those bundles will bundle you straight out the door, if you know what I'm saying. They won't give you nothing if they find out you got a YouTube channel or you're fishing tournaments and you didn't tell them all that up front. Like I said, BIA.us right there. Go check them out. Make sure you tell them BassGeek sent you just to get a quote. Now, with most of these during the wintertime, I'm going to use it on a spinning rod. You can use it, and I'll use the bigger ones on, like, say, my jerkbait rod sometimes. But because a lot of times I'm letting these things sink, I am using it on this combo right here. This is my Cashin Core. It is a 7-foot medium heavy fast action rod. So I'm going to be able to get the cast out there where I want it, and I'm going to be able to let it sink down. I've got this coupled with a Lew's Custom Pro Speed Spin. This is an older model. I'll make sure that in the links in the description. And by the way, guys, one of the best ways to support us, we get this question every once in a while, is use those links in the description, especially to Tackle Warehouse. If you don't care, if you want to support us, bookmark that link down there in the description to Tackle Warehouse, because we don't do memberships or any sort of Patreon or anything like that. We like to be inclusive to everyone. And so if you're going to go out to Tackle Warehouse, you're going to purchase something, just use our link. It helps us out a ton. And if you want to, you can scan this QR code right here and bookmark it on your phone. Now, as far as line, of course, we've got K9, we've got High Vis Yellow on here. That is 10-pound test to 8-pound test. Pro 100, 100% fluorocarbon, because we want that sink down into the water. We want to feel this bait, we want to stay in contact with it. And if you haven't tried it, and I'm telling you, if you want the longest cast you're ever going to get, go check out K9's new JDM Silk Braid. And you can get a discount using this code right here. We're not going to show you how to rig every single one of them, just tie whatever your favorite knot is. And one of the things you're going to notice is with this one is that the eye tie is turned sideways with the bait. The other thing that you're going to notice about this one is that it's a little more humped and that nose points down. And the reason why is because when you're fishing this one, you can do it a couple different ways. The two retrieves that I like, this actually walks the dog very well. But it's kind of a, it's like this, it kind of hops side to side when you walk it. If you keep your rod tip low and twist and twitch it. Now, you can keep your rod tip high and just kind of shake it, and it'll go back, forth. I mean, it'll jump around. It'll be very erratic. So either way, you kind of let the fish tell you which one you want or which one they want to bite. Generally, with every single one of them, I'm going to make a cast out there, whether it be over a tree or whatever, over some grass, over some brush, or if I'm scoping, I'm going to throw it out there and I'm going to let this sink for just a few minutes. And this one has a little shimmy to it, not as much as the other two, and I'll explain to you why here in just a minute. But once it gets down there just above them, that's when I'm going to start working it really erratically, or moving that so that we get that side to side motion. Now we're going to talk about the Bill Lewis version. I'm going to show you a little something. You'll notice how thin the head is, how fat the body is, and then it thins back out at the tail. This one, you can work it real erratic. You can make it hop around and jump up and jump down. But what this one does real well is this kind of slightly scissor type move. So it'll kind of move like that on its axis. So, which will be about right in there. And so as it comes through the water, it'll just twitch. It's got a great shimmy as it falls. So a stop and go action with this is incredible. So you can work it and it may rise just a little bit as you're working it, and then stop it and it's going to really shimmy as it falls. Then maybe give it another couple of retrieves. That's the way I like to fish this one, pretty consistently. Now, this is the Seek by Duo, and this is one of the first twitch baits I ever really used. And it's kind of set up the same way. You can see you've got the thin head, the thin tail, the fat body, and it works extremely well coming through the water. And I think it works a little bit better, in my opinion, that scissor movement. It's got a really great roll as it comes through, so you get a lot of flash as it's coming through doing that sort of scissor movement. And I think one of the reasons is because that line tie is, you know, horizontal to the body of the bait instead of up and down like they normally are. And this one has, again, an incredible shimmy when you stop it and it just falls. So as it's sinking, it's got an incredible shimmy to it. But I fish this pretty much the same way as I do the Bill Lewis. So I'm going to throw it out there. I'm going to take it, and I'm going to hold my rod tip a little bit different than I do with the Bill Lewis. I'm going to hold it up because you can really get that by twitching upwards as it comes through. Now, when it comes to a hook set on all of these, basically you're just going to 45 degree. You know, make sure your drag set is set right because you're using treble hooks, and you want to fight these fish. Let them tire themselves out before you get them to the boat and put them in the boat. Be very, very mindful and careful because these are treble hook baits. Don't get yourself hurt, stuck. Don't lose any of your body fluid. You know, that's very important to all of us. I don't want to say it because I don't even know if saying it will get me in trouble on YouTube. But you know, I will, and a little tip, again, on some of them, I will put a little suspend dot or a suspend strip, especially on these because they only come in the 1/2 ounce size. And these are one of my very favorites. They just work very well. But yeah, once you get them in the boat, take a picture with them, let them go. So geeks, whether it be summer or whether it be winter like it is right now, make sure you go out and you try some of these twitch baits, man. They are really good. I don't think they get the press or the use that they should. They're a really daggone good bait. Now, I will tell you, like I always tell you, they are a hard bait. So as you see behind me here, there's a slick glass calm. Not the time to throw a hard bait, okay? Super clear water. It may not look like it, but we got about 5 to 8 feet of visibility right here. So not where you want to throw any hard baits, truthfully, unless we've got some sort of cover like a heavy brush pile or a bunch of grass. And as you can tell, this lake ain't a whole lot of that. Now, we did a really interesting video on several of these last winter, including a couple that we didn't talk about here. I just wanted to kind of share with you how we've been using them and how we've gotten a little bit better with them. But if you want to see that video, make sure you go check it out right here. Otherwise, questions and comments in the comments section below. Like it if you like it. Don't forget to subscribe. Make sure you ring that bell. Be part of the 100% Watch Squad. We need you. Please join the 100% Watch Squad. It's free. You just got to watch the videos, and you geeks rock.